feel it's your fault?
Absolutely my fault.
Green was assessed a flagrant foul for striking James in the groin.
LeBron figured out a way to get in Dre's head.
He stepped over. It's one of the most brutal things I ever had to go through in my life. You don't step over a grown man. And if it happened again, I would do the same thing. Get off me.
The Golden State Warriors could have had an even longer dynasty if Kevin Durant hadn't left the team after just 3 seasons. What you might not realize is that Draymond Green, who played a massive role in bringing KD to Golden State, also was a huge reason for him leaving. So let's have a look then at the on-the-court beef between KD and Draymond, as well as the reasons why Durant chose to leave the Warriors after just 3 years. The 2016 Golden State Warriors were statistically the best regular season team of all time. With an insane 73-9 record, it looked like a certainty that the Warriors would become back-to-back champions and defeat LeBron James once again. The Warriors took a 3-1 lead against the Cavs, with all 3 of those coming in double-digit wins. An incredible combination of injuries and suspensions, along with incredible play from Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, meant that the Warriors became the first team to lose a 3-1 lead. In the most ridiculous finals in the history of the league, the Warriors became a huge disappointment. Game 7 was awful for all the players involved, with the Warriors falling by just 4 points thanks to some incredible plays from the Cavs. As the story goes, Draymond made a very important call in the parking lot after the game.
He stepped over, and I had a natural reaction to get from over him. Like, you don't step over a grown man. It's disrespectful. And if it happened again, I would do the same thing. Get off me. If I played, we win, of course. So I do feel it's my fault that we lost.
You feel it's your fault?
Absolutely my fault.
The rumor that Draymond called KD crying in the parking lot after Game 7 is not exactly true. What exactly happened was the 2 players were on FaceTime in the locker room after the game. Allegedly, Draymond didn't ask Durant to join the Warriors, but there certainly seemed to be some sort of understanding between the 2. What Draymond did do is call Warriors general manager Bob Myers and tell him to go get Durant.
Yeah, he was sitting in the parking lot in his car at Oracle Arena after they lost, after all the drama in the locker room. First call was to Bob Myers, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta get KD, let's do it." And I'm sure Bob Myers was like, "Hey, great idea, Draymond. I'll get on that." And then he said, "The next thing I did, I hung out with Bob and I contacted KD, and we didn't get much further than that. But right after the game, he's like, let's go."
Game 7, that crazy Game 7 with the way it ended and the Kyrie shot and everyone whatever, he goes back to the parking lot outside Oracle Arena, and before he leaves the parking lot, he's on the phone.
I don't think it's a secret. Like Adrian Wojnarowski at Yahoo reported during the playoffs that they had been recruiting him. They had been recruiting him before that. Like, I don't think that was the first conversation that Draymond had.
Well, as we know now, that's exactly what the Warriors did. Less than 3 weeks after Game 7, Kevin Durant announced his intentions to sign for the Warriors. It turned out to be the best call that Draymond has ever made. With Durant leading this Golden State super team, they were unstoppable in the 2017 and 2018 playoffs on the way to back-to-back titles. There was nothing LeBron could do to stop KD and his elite supporting cast featuring a former MVP, a defensive MVP, and one of the best shooters of all time. Durant himself won back-to-back Finals MVP titles, hitting dagger threes in both series. It was an incredible move for the Warriors. While KD might have been heavily criticized for joining a super team, he was vindicated by those titles.
And this year, the back-to-back NBA Finals MVP, Kevin Durant.
After that 2018 Finals, it looked like the Warriors could win another 4 or 5 titles. Steph and Durant were both 30 years old and still had a lot left in their prime. Clay and Draymond were just 28 and could still perform at a high level for a long time. None of the team had injury concerns, and the Warriors' chemistry seemed to be great. The Warriors started off the following season in great form, winning 10 of their first 11 games. They looked well on their way to another season as the top seed in the West when the Warriors traveled to LA to face the Clippers. Despite the Clippers being a pretty average team in the league, the game was still tied in the final few seconds. Great defense from Andre Iguodala with just seconds remaining gave the Warriors a chance at hitting the game-winning shot. With 2 elite level shooters on the court at the time, one of them should have had a chance to win. While KD looked certain to gather the rebound, it was Draymond who jumped in front of him and began driving the ball up the court. Instead of dishing the ball to one of the open shooters, Green drove straight into multiple Clippers defenders and lost the ball. The Warriors didn't even get a shot off and the game was headed to overtime. Probably was not the smartest play from Draymond, considering all of the talent around him.
Down to 3. Iguodala stayed down. That's almost an air ball. It ticked iron. They don't use a timeout at 3. Draymond at 2. They got to get a shot off, and they don't.
KD headed to the bench after the incident, and he did not look happy. It's clear to see that KD wanted the ball, and he made that very clear to Draymond. According to Dre, KD said, "Give me the mother effing ball." In response, Draymond said, "I was effing passing you the ball if you would have effing ran." A pretty simple argument that would not have been helped by the fact that the Clippers pulled off the victory in overtime. The rumors were that this argument continued into the locker room, and Draymond said some pretty harsh stuff about Durant. After cursing him out multiple times, Draymond allegedly said to KD, "We don't need you. We won without you. Leave." Draymond called Durant soft and said something that a lot of fans had questioned: could the Warriors still win without Durant? That's not exactly the sort of thing that you should be telling a teammate. The event was highly publicized and the Warriors organization took the side of KD. Draymond was suspended for his actions and it was not the sort of media coverage that the Warriors were looking for. This wasn't the first time that Green had yelled at KD both on and off the court. Before they had won their first title together, Draymond was yelling at the Warriors' new signing in a 2017 regular season game against the Grizzlies. The pair were still arguing a month later against the Sacramento Kings, with Sean Livingston having to get in between the two of them. At the time, it seemed to just be arguments about strategy and how the two's play styles could fit together. But the 2018 argument was completely different, and it was also very important for one main reason. When Durant signed for Golden State, it was on a 3-year, $30 million per season contract that saw him become a free agent in 2019. When this argument happened, Durant hadn't signed an extension past the 2018 to 2019 season. So as you might expect, the rumors about him leaving became a lot louder after this incident. The season ended terribly for the Warriors. The 2019 NBA Finals saw long-term injuries to KD and Klay Thompson, which ended in the Toronto Raptors ending the Warriors' hopes of a three-peat. Just a couple of weeks after the Warriors lost to the Raptors in Game 6 to seal the series, Durant announced his intentions to sign with the Brooklyn Nets once free agency started. It was to the surprise of no one that Durant wanted to leave the Warriors. He wanted to try to build a championship contender himself instead of jumping onto a super team like he had with the Warriors. What we know now is that the on-the-court explosion between Green and KD played a massive part in Durant's decision to leave the Warriors and head to Brooklyn.
All the answer to this question. Did that play a role in you leaving Golden State?
A little bit, yeah, for sure. I mean, your teammate talked to you that way, you think about it a bit, but, I just felt like I needed a switch. That was just going to be the end no matter what.
What could have been a dynasty that lasted a decade, the Warriors only managed to get 2 titles out of KD. That may seem like a great feat, but the Golden State absolutely wanted to keep hold of him. It is now more than 5 years on from that famous on-the-court incident and more than 4 years since KD announced he was leaving Golden State. The career paths of both players have been very interesting to watch. Few people would have imagined that Draymond and not Kevin Durant would have won a ring since the two parted ways. Strangely enough, Draymond seemed to be right when he said that the Warriors didn't need Durant to win because that's exactly what they did in 2022. Despite having an elite list of teammates including Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, Durant still hasn't even been back to the finals since leaving Golden State. In the years since Draymond and KD seem to have squashed their beef slightly. They sat down together in 2021 and Durant said that his leaving had more to do with how the front office and management reacted to the argument.
How much did our argument against the Clippers drive you to ultimately lead the Warriors?
It wasn't an argument the way that everybody, Steve Kerr act like it didn't happen, Bob Myers and tried to just discipline you and think that that would put the mask over everything. I really felt like that was such a big situation for us as a group the first time we went through something like that.
This doesn't mean the two are best friends now. As recently as February 2024, Draymond taunted his former teammates after the Warriors beat the Phoenix Suns.
Lob it inside. Durant has it. And that's it. Now it's officially over. Draymond Green deflects the final pass in, and the Golden State Warriors hang on and win a thriller.
It certainly doesn't look like the two are the best of friends, and the beef certainly still remains today. What we do know is that the argument between Draymond and KD in the regular season game in 2018 changed the course of NBA history. Who knows what the league would look like if Draymond hadn't helped push KD out the door? What do you think about Draymond's actions to KD? Why not put your thoughts in the comments down below? While you're down there, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.